we used to joke, yeah, someday we'll have the network and the skills so that we can build something in robotics. Suddenly, एक बच्चे को अपना dream मिल जाए, right? That there is a chance that you can build a great robotics company. So for us, yeah, the engineer inside us started, craving, let's do it. This is the time when we can step down and start something new.
So in our initial days, we focused a lot on manipulation, and you would have seen the manipulation model there. This particular architecture is very state of the art. If you go to Google DeepMind offices, they will show you the same architecture with same results.
So what basically you are saying is you record hundreds of videos doing manual tasks, and then you feed the data into the machine, and that's how it works.
In robotics, you cannot use anything. You have to build everything from scratch. So we collect our own data sets. We train our own models from scratch, like zero code. And we build our own robots right from scratch.
Our plan is to make sure that the humanoid that we are building is able to work in homes. That's our long-term goal, but we understand that it's going to take 3 to 4 years for the market to mature.
How easy it is to get a, let's say, $100 million funding for a robotics company in India.
One thing you need to understand, a business is not built by the millions of dollars you raise. Businesses are not built by investors. Businesses are built by teams and engineers. If somebody is trying to go out and claim that, look, I'm going to raise $20 million and I'm going to hire so many people and I'm just going to, defeat Elon Musk. All the best, man. All the best. You have seen the humanoid, right?
Yeah, right.
We have raised $3 million in funding in total. We have not spent, even half of it. IITs produce 10,000 engineers every year.
Right.
At least 3,000 of them are amazingly good. 300 of them would definitely be interested in robotics. And we need only 30 out of those 300 to really make humanoids a possibility. We have the best talent because our talent from India goes to the US, does MS PhD and joins OpenAI, joins Anthropic, joins all these companies and make them legendary companies. We can make them legendary here itself.
Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I am in Bangalore at the incredible office of General Autonomy, and I am with Farid and Bhanu. They co-founded ShareChat and Moj, Indian homegrown social network platform with more than 400 million users. And now they are building robots, which is very crazy. So hi Farid and hi Bhanu. Swagat hai.
Hi Ankit, thank you so much for having us over.
Okay, so from software to hardware, sounds very crazy. So how did you guys landed upon robotics?
Yeah, so we graduated in 2014 from IIT Kanpur.
Okay.
And before graduating, Bhanu and I both used to make a lot of robots together. So I was the robotics club coordinator. We have this hobby clubs in Kanpur, like robotics club, electronics club, programming club. And one of the first multi-touch tables, this is before iPad was launched, before Surface was launched, was made by Bhanu in 2011. And I was his humble team member. And that's how the journey began. During my college days, I built close to 50 odd robots. And along with Bhanu, I was also the member of the first RoboCup effort in India. And luckily, at some point in 2012, both of us started participating in hackathons. And there was this hackathon in August 2012 called Yahoo Hack You, which we had won. And the Critics' Choice Award had gone to a team led by Ankush. And post the hackathon, we felt that maybe we can make something great together. And this Ankush looks very smart. So let's get him together. And the three of us then started building products together. So from 2012 August up until 2015, even after we graduated and Ankush graduated, we had built about 17 different startup ideas. And the 17th one ended up being ShareChat. So right after graduation, Bhanu and I moved to Mumbai. We didn't even have money for food. Ankush was in campus because we had left our jobs. I was going to become an investment banker at Deutsche Bank, and Bhanu had multiple software opportunities in Singapore and US. But we decided that ये नहीं करना है. We don't want to spend our lives being working for someone else, where we have a shot at building something of our own. And so, in 2014, graduating from Kanpur, we moved to Mumbai, spent life on streets, सड़कों पे सोते थे, Like there was a very nice senior of ours, Pratik Shukla, who had started a startup called Grab House, and we started living in his office. हम लोग उनके ऑफिस में सोते थे रात में, and दिन में हमें उनका ही इन्वेस्टर थे इंडिया क्वेश्चन. They got interested in us, so we started दिन में उनके ऑफिस जाके we used to build apps. रात में ग्रैब हाउस के ऑफिस आके हम सोते थे और 5,000 रुपये अ मंथ पे हमारी जिंदगी कटती थी.
We used to have Grab House's breakfast because we could not afford breakfast for ourselves.
हाँ,
So Grab House really supported in that.
या तो वो बेचारे अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ के लिए जो ब्रेकफास्ट मंगाते थे, उनके एम्प्लॉयज़ हमेशा एक दो छुट्टी पे होते थे, वो हम खा लेते थे. एंड या इट वाज अ हार्ड जर्नी, बट इवेंचुअली ShareChat happened in around December 2014, and 2015 February we got our first funding of 50 lakh rupees from India Quotient. And at just at that moment we decided कि भाई मुंबई बहुत महंगा है. Like, we have to move somewhere else, and Bangalore was just starting to take off. Now, this is I'm talking about a time when India had only 100 million internet users.
Okay.
I'm talking about a time when out of those 100 million, 80 million were using it only through laptops and computers, and there was essentially just a 20 million new user base just सिर्फ smartphone से access कर पा रहा था for the first time. And there was just a bet कि India internet users will grow, and maybe we can build something of value for India at that time. And so that journey happened right from 2015 February, as I mentioned, till 2022. We raised a lot of rounds, raised almost $1 billion in capital, became a unicorn company, raised $5 billion, launched Moj app, which was like done in like 4 days flat, less than 100 hours, from the idea to releasing an app which became #1 app, fastest growing app before ChatGPT in the history of the internet. And during the process, we achieved a lot of milestones. Like the app that we had built used to work, like the first app used to work on Edge and 2G and very poor internet connections, which was only possible with WhatsApp. So we had a lot of technical advantages over every other players. But when Geo happened, all those advantages went away. We went from being a very hardcore engineering company to a content social network kind of a company. And so, while it was great, it was a great experience. Bhanu and I always wanted to build something in robotics, build something in electronics. And so, before starting up, we used to joke, yeah, someday we'll have the network and the skills so that we can build something in robotics. We can possibly build something which can eventually match up to the likes of Lockheed Martin or any such legendary companies. And so,
In around 2022 to 2023, a lot of stuff happened in AI. GPT came in. Generative AI proper as a field evolved. There was also the first application of generative AI in robotics, in which you can now train an end-to-end model, whereas before robotics was about multiple modules, and some of those modules were AI, some of those were rules-based, and they all need to be stitched together for the entire automation to happen. But for the first time, using diffusion models, you can learn end-to-end. You can just feed images and get the actions out of the model that you can directly execute on a robot. So that seemed like a right time to enter into robotics, although a lot of the wider world was not yet aware, but we were. So we started working on this idea. We did not build any product yet. We were just ideating. But by the time we came to the conclusion of what we want to build, the entire world also caught up, and now you see almost everyone doing robotics.
Exactly. And so, like in 2023, early 2023, both of us decided to step down from our operational roles. We continue to hold our ownership in ShareChat. We continue to hold board seats there. But suddenly, एक बच्चे को अपना dream मिल जाए, right? That there is a chance that you can build a great robotics company. So for us, the engineer inside us started, craving, let's do it. This is the time when we can step down and start something new. And hence, General Autonomy started. But, even though technically it started in mid of 2023, our actual operations started in April 2024. That's when we, got a bunch of team members. We got Suraj and Nikhil and other folks from Ola, and Google, and Ather, etc. And from there onwards, we started focusing a lot on building AI models, getting those AI models to work with robots that are off the shelf, and also start building the first humanoid that you can see behind. Right.
Right.
Our initial days, were mostly on manipulation research because a lot of AI chops need to be there for that, and we just wanted to be ready for this particular moment. So in our initial days, we focused a lot on manipulation, and you would have seen the manipulation model there. This particular architecture is very state of the art. If you go to Google DeepMind offices, they will show you the same architecture with same results, which is like 99% success rate on any task. Moreover, there are certain training techniques that we have developed so far, and these techniques are not easy to develop, and that is the moat that we have. Even when the architecture, everyone kind of knows, but when you go and build it, there are plenty of stuff that needs to be done in between.
Yeah, and like in generative AI, you may have come across many startups. A lot of them use off-the-shelf models and then fine-tune those models. Somebody's using Llama, somebody's using GPT. In robotics, you cannot use anything. You have to build everything from scratch. So we collect our own data sets. We train our own models from scratch, like zero code, and we build our own robots right from scratch. Like you just now, like before this interview, I was just talking to the aluminum CNC vendor for the next version of our humanoid legs. So yeah, that's how this journey happened.
You said a lot of things. So, like, you guys were always into robotics.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to these things, these robots and all. But you guys were always into robotics. So coming to Bhanu, I wanna hear your version of the story. Like you are building this for building together for more than 15 years, I guess. So your version of the story, like फरीद का जो पर्सपेक्टिव था कि एक एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्राफ लग रहा था कि we did this, we did this, we did this, and it was like so exponential. But like from your perspective, like how it was like building together for 15 years.
I think in first year we were on the same floor at IIT Kanpur.
Okay, you're wingmates.
Yeah, we
Wingmates,
were
yeah.
wingies, we were roomies,
Yeah.
we were
Okay.
flatmates.
So just after joining IIT, just a few days afterward, at night we were talking about quantum teleportation, etc. While everyone was, busy chasing after
Cultural activities, fest,
cultural
whatever.
activities stuff. But we were talking about this, and there was a connection between us, and we thought we could work together. And 4 years at IIT, we have done a lot of projects. I personally worked on a multi-touch table, which is like a desktop table with a display, and you can use your fingers to provide touch inputs, just like you would use an iPad. You just consider
TV
a
jitna
bigger
bada iPad.
iPad, like a table-size iPad.
Okay.
And the way we did it is we filled the plane with a laser light, a planar laser light, and whenever you would touch something, light will get reflected. There's a camera at the bottom, which makes a 2D picture of where the touch point is. Now, if you have a 2D picture of where the touch point is, you can send this touch signals to your operating system. In this case, we were using Windows. So we were able to retarget that touch to the Windows OS, and then Windows OS takes it up from there.
In 2011.
Yes, January
We
2011.
won the Open Hardware Challenge in Technity for this.
किसी ने अप्रोच नहीं किया कि like these guys are doing something very incredible and like we should fund them or we should give something to them.
No, yaar, actually that time doing a startup while you're studying in IIT was sort of illegal. So we never really got registered as a company.
Okay.
हम लोग हमेशा projects करते थे.
Some senior folks in IIT were pissed off because our projects were really exciting.
Yeah.
And a lot of star engineers in IIT Kanpur would rather join our projects than proper sanctioned, prof-driven projects. And this pissed off a lot of people and created a lot of problems for us.
It created a problem to the extent that at some point they were evaluating whether to throw us out of campus.
Okay.
SAC बैठ गई थी essentially हमारे ऊपर.
अच्छा.
Yeah. But obviously we came out clean because we were just a bunch of
It was just
hackers, pirates, developers, whatever you want to call us.
कभी ड्रॉप आउट वगैरह का सोचा लाइक ड्रॉप आउट करके कुछ करते हैं या फिर ऐसा कुछ
So,
थॉट.
robotics, we always wanted to do robotics, but
Okay.
the thing is, 2014 May, after graduating, if you want to start a company, 2014 May, there was no viability for a deep tech company in India. Things now have completely changed. There are plenty of deep tech talent. You would have met a lot of engineers here. They're really good. Like in 2014 May, this was not the case. So we made a decision, let's do software. Let's build our network, net worth and capabilities. And then at some point in future, we will come back to deep tech. That was our
I think still there is a lot of lack of education around deep tech and all. I think especially in VCs or there is lack of talent also. Like we always are fascinated toward machines and all in our childhood, but somehow we ended up being a consultant or a programmer or a manager. I think
So I think you have to understand why people join IIT. Like a lot of us come from middle income and lower income backgrounds, and IIT is a method for upward mobility for a lot of these families. And hence, the engineer has a choice to make that they can work in core engineering with lower pay because that's what it was, or they can join consulting, finance, or competitive programming and earn a lot more. And hence, while we have the skills, you said we don't have the talent. You're wrong. We have the best talent because our talent from India goes to the US, does MS PhD, and joins OpenAI, joins Anthropic, joins all these companies and make them legendary companies. We can make them legendary here itself. It's just the fact that the incentives of people graduating are not yet aligned because the industry was not mature enough. And you said we don't have deep tech exposure. In our understanding now, every company is a tech company, like the way people say it, and they say robotics and other stuff is deep tech. But I think that narrative should change because if you don't have a website today, even if you are a gold jewelry brand or a apparel brand, you actually won't make business, right? So it's no longer an option; it's a necessity. So then, if that is the case, then what exactly is a tech company? Then all deep tech companies are actually tech companies now, and this is just standard for everybody. Yes,
So after college, you started ShareChat.
yes.
Okay, so then you guys like ShareChat में इतना लंबा time you spent there. So when you were coming out of ShareChat, तो सीधा आपके मतलब before ShareChat you tried 17 ideas. So
Yeah.
after ShareChat like directly bang on robotics or there was something else in mind?
So, of course, like experience, hai na? So
Okay.
now you know that don't call everything a startup, don't call everything, a project. Don't jump so quickly across ideas. Like we started from like ShareChat ke time par, we started as a real estate classifieds company. And
Okay.
from there, we kept jumping to the point where we finally got कि oh, we can make a social network. आप अगर कानपुर में रियल एस्टेट कंपनी खोलने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, यू आर गोइंग टू फेल. 2014 हो या 2025, you are going to fail because it's a very small town. It's a small market, right? So getting out of Kanpur is also hard at times if you're building something for the masses. Again, this is 2014. 2025 is fairly different. But here, if you would say कि we didn't jump ideas, of course we did jump ideas even in robotics. But the core stayed consistent. That we as a company we build robots. We build the AI models required for those robots, and that's what we do. Now, अब वो robot कहाँ लगना है? वो टी प्लांटेशन में लगना है या फिर वो सोल्डरिंग करने वाला है या फिर वो बर्तन धोने वाला है घर में? That is something that the market will help us decide. But we were consistent about this thing this time. Yeah.
बट अगर आज की बात करें तो मार्केट इतना मेच्योर हुआ है लाइक मेनी पीपल स्टिल हैव दैट टेबू टुवर्ड्स रोबोटिक्स लाइक इवन लाइक अगर मैं सीधा सीधा पूछूं कि हाउ इजी इट इज टू गेट अ लेट्स से $100 million फंडिंग फॉर अ रोबोटिक्स कंपनी इन इंडिया एज कंपेयर टू यूएस, हाउ हार्ड और इजी इट इज?
So, see, one thing you need to understand, a business is not built by the millions of dollars you raise. Businesses are not built by investors. Businesses are built by teams and engineers, right? And you have seen the humanoid, right?
Yeah, right.
We have raised $3 million in funding in total. We have not spent, even half of it to get here.
Okay.
You don't need $100 million to make a humanoid that works. You need very good talented people who are driven enough and who have a very high bar towards working and having resilience and having intellect. And I think IITs produce 10,000 engineers every year.
Right.
At least 3,000 of them are amazingly good. 300 of them would definitely be interested in robotics, and we need only 30 out of those 300 to really make humanoids a possibility. Now, coming to your question of market readiness, Volkswagen makes a car called Virtus.
Okay.
बेहतरीन गाड़ी है. It's a fantastic car. 20 lakh rupees की आती है, right? And people buy it. Why do people buy it? Because the utility is proven and it's a great looking product. So if I make a humanoid in 20 lakh rupees whose utility is proven, it looks great, would you not buy it? Right?
Of
Why do you
course.
want your mother to work hard when you go home? Why do you want your wife to work hard? Why do you want yourself to work hard? There are so many bachelors living in Bangalore, it's so many in Delhi NCR, in Mumbai, and they are struggling to do their job efficiently because घर जाके कपड़े धोने हैं, घर जाके खाना बनाना है, घर जाके बर्तन धोने हैं. So and they can afford to buy a virtuous car. Then why can't they afford to buy a humanoid?
आई थिंक आपके एक्स बायो में लिखा कि फिजिकल लेबर इज डेड.
Of course, physical labor is dead, and long live physical labor, because what we are trying to do here is automating physical labor with intelligent robots.
Bhanu, if you can quickly break down for us कि what exactly you guys are doing here, since फरीद ने काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें बताई कि exactly for particular task like we are building कि वो क्या काम करेगा. So what is your PMF you are looking forward to, and what exactly you guys are doing here?
Okay. So there are certain base platforms. So Humanoid is a base platform.
Okay.
Some companies also sell Quadruped, which is also a base platform. So you have a base hardware which is capable enough of doing any task. Then you train AI models on it. We showed you a tabletop AI model, which is able to fold boxes in 60 seconds. And just using parallel jaw grippers, if we just attach fingered hand, it can do much more. Our plan is to make sure that the humanoid that we are building is able to work in homes. That's our long-term goal, but we understand that it's going to take 3 to 4 years for the market to mature. So what can we do till then? We can just perfect our product and probably sell our hardware for some simple applications. So research institutes, I think, are the first target market. A lot of colleges in India wants to do robotic research, but the robotics platforms are not available. The only platforms available in the wider world are Chinese platforms, and they are still expensive, although they are cheaper compared to American platforms. But from Indian perspective, they are still very expensive. Even globally, they are still very expensive. So what we plan to do is we will build a really affordable humanoid that you can use to do research on top. We are going to sell this to research institutes, colleges, and probably some government institutions who want to further some kind of a research. This is the first market. Second, humanoids are already pretty good at playing sports. Also, some things like dancing or greeting someone. But let's not go there. Let's talk about sports. So if we are able to train a humanoid to bowl or bat or play table tennis, then we can sell this to uh, people who provide sports arenas where these robots are there, and people who book those arenas for playing, they can involve these humanoids to play along. This will also take care of, let's say you only have 4 people, you want to play cricket, some humanoids can fill in the gap. Let's say you want to practice, you want to do a 4 hour batting practice, who is going to bowl 4 hour for you? A humanoid can. A humanoid can bowl 24/7 given it has battery. So these are certain things that we are looking at, but the biggest market is home robots. We want our robots to be able to do all the home tasks. For example, cleaning your home. There is one type of cleaning that happens every day, and that is pick up small trash, put it in a garbage bag, and then take it and put it in a service area. This is true for every apartment. So this is a daily task that a humanoid can do. Moreover, you order a lot of packages from outside Amazon, Swiggy, etc. Those packages come at your door. Someone needs to pick them up, put them in their desired places. So the humanoid needs to have the knowledge of the entire home. That can be done by initial deployment where we map the entire area. We also tag the places so that you can talk to your robot in natural language and you can put in some routines. For example, if a package comes in, you are supposed to put the package at this place. So whenever that happens, humanoid will go pick the package, put it at that place. You can also instruct the humanoid to open the package. For example, if it's a grocery package, open the package, look at the contents. Vision models are really advanced now. They can look at a scene of a clutter and pick out every object. Your humanoid can pick those objects and put them in their desired places. For example, groceries go at a certain place, ice creams, etc., go inside the freezer. Other food items, there are designated places for that. So these things can be done, and we are looking for this market.
And how do you train them?
Okay, so currently the state of the art in manipulation is a diffusion transformer.
Okay.
In which, if you want to train it for a specific task, all you need to do is teleoperate the robot to do the task by a human. A human teleoperates the robot and does the task exactly like the way you want the robot to do.
Okay.
You have to do it probably 50, 60 times. This becomes a data set that a model can train on. This data set contains camera images while the task is being done, on all the robot actions while the task is being done. This becomes a data set. You train a model that takes in those camera images and predicts the actions. Once this model is ready, you can evaluate this model. Obviously, the success rate is not 100% at first. Why? Because for a long horizon task, there are certain failure points, and these are mostly contact points where if even a slight mismatch can result in task failure. So when you run the model, you will see these failures happening. So what you need to do then is run it. Whenever you see a failure, just take control of the robot and correct it. This offers a very short chunk of correction. We call it corrections. So your initial data set and your correction data set together becomes the bigger data set that you need to train on. And after that, your success rate is definitely going to be more than 90%. If you want to push it from 90 to 99, there are online reinforcement learning techniques that we have used in this. The success rate of this model is 99%. Using those online reinforcement learning techniques, you can further improve the success rate.
So what basically you're saying is you record hundreds of videos doing manual tasks and then you feed the data into the machine and that's how it works.
Yes.
But for that to humanoid, like it can't work like that, no? Like for that you need some kind of a model or maybe some kind of feeding. So you data, I think data is the one of the biggest challenge for that. So how to solve that?
Yeah, so as you can see in the robotic arm, actually, have we shown this to him?
Yes.
We have. Okay, so you see the way you can grab the teleoperation brake and control it. So if instead of mounting it on this station,
Okay.
if I can make you wear it, like we actually have a version where you basically wear the exoskeleton.
Okay.
And so when you do that, you become the humanoid. And so whatever task you do, you can see the humanoid doing it right in front of you. And that's how you collect data for the humanoid. Now there is a certain other training which you have to do for locomotion, which is where reinforcement learning comes in, and that training is done in a sim. But that is a sort of a solved problem. A lot of companies globally have solved it. A lot of research labs globally have solved it. And as you can see, we have also solved it, right? So उसमें ज़्यादा कुछ बचा नहीं है करने को. The real task where it actually is still a slightly open problem statement is to solve manipulation. And when we say manipulation means doing stuff with hands, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So इसमें जो one of the articles I was reading कि जो इनकी जो training हो रही है by generative simulation models, I think Elon Musk is also investing some $10 billion in a startup called Dozo or something. So generative AI is going to unlock the full potential of robotics.
It is definitely an important factor, but it's not everything. A lot of hardware developments are also required, especially in operating your fingers. Moreover, a lot of models these days don't take into account the touch feedback when you are doing something. That is a critical element. Although you can do 70-80% of the task without that input, but in order for the robot to be completely effective and do everything a human can, those touch inputs are required. So some hardware advancements need to be there. And then the data that we talked about, if you're training a general model which is able to do everything based on language instruction, we need a very large data set for that. We have certain advantages there that Farid, you can talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have the lowest cost of acquiring data sets in the world right now. So when you take Tesla, when you take Figure, when you take any of these amazing companies out there in the US, they still spend about like $50 an hour to collect data sets. And that's because just the cost of labor is higher in the US. In India, on the other hand, there are a lot of these engineers who graduate every year and who are unable to find jobs. Like they are from tier 3, tier 4 colleges. They might even be the college topper, but yet they might be forced to do a delivery boy job or a Uber driver job because of the lack of opportunities.
Right.
And whatever opportunity we provide to them to become a data set collector for robotics is significantly better than a Swiggy or any of those gray collar, blue collar jobs. And at the same time, it's for us as a company, it's still very, very cheap compared to the US counterparts. So that allows us to actually gather a lot of data sets at a fraction of price of what a Figure, Tesla, or any of the other companies could do.
We are not in a hurry to collect a large scale data set because even if you do that, there are still some gaps in the hardware that need to be solved. But given this advantage, we too have a plan to collect large scale data and train a general model on top of it.
Right now, we are focused on building the product. So this is the first India's working humanoid.
Yes.
So you can see that closely, I think.
Yes, for sure. Let's do that. Thanks.
Okay. So what is the weight of this machine?
I think it is at about 31 kgs right now. It's built with aluminum 6061 and carbon fiber. So we used carbon fiber specifically for providing a certain amount of rigidity at the same time giving it a lightweight nature. When it was made and the first video was put out, at that time it was the lightest humanoid in the world that could walk. But unfortunately for us, a week later, a Chinese player also launched a robot which was 28 kgs. So we lost the lightest title, but theek hai. This is some place where I get to use my material science degree quite well. So yeah, that's what this.
This robot was made in 4 months. And
Okay.
apart from the motors, we have done everything right here in Bangalore. The metal, machining,
PCB,
the
batteries.
boards, the electronics, the control, uh, the stress analysis on which joints need more resilience compared to others. You can also see an ankle joint, which gives you like a ball joint kind of a thing. And it
Okay.
is a difficult mechanism to get it right. Plenty of effort was put into that. We also have a simulation in which you can train on 8,000, 10,000 robots parallelly and then deploy on your robot.
So basically, like when you think of a kid has to go through that journey of learning how to, stand and then
Lot of pampering.
crawl, walk, fall, and learn over time.
Mhm.
But imagine if 10,000 kids were learning together and they had the same brain, so they would learn it much faster. You don't have to wait for 2 years for your kid to walk.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So it is one body but 10,000 souls. Right?
Wow.
You would have seen a lot of videos of humanoids. Reason is that the system identification process takes a lot of time, and that is where a lot of humanoid companies waste a lot of time. We were able to do system identification for this, and we are pretty confident that we'll be able to match unitary level of capability when it comes to the quality of the hardware.
Wow. 4 महीने में बना ही पूरा.
हाँ 4 महीने में बना है. We started somewhere around May and I think August में we were ready with almost everything. We actually released a video of the lower torso first and that happened I think in June. And the thing is that the lower torso actually was India's first life-size walking robot.
Okay.
But it cannot be called a humanoid.
Right.
So life size is important. See, there has been attempt on building humanoids. There was long ago, I think 2009, 2008, Bits Pilani had made India's first humanoid called Acute.
Okay.
And the person who built that ended up starting Grey Orange, which ended up being India's first robotics company.
Wow.
Right? But this is the first time ever that in India we have a life-size humanoid. Like itna bada aadmi hota hai, right? Life-size humanoid that can walk. Yeah, and while there are no hands on it right now, these are just arms. There are stuff on hands that we are doing there. Maybe
Okay.
we can
Quickly show that.
Yeah. I think that would be a good site. So this mechanism that we use, maybe like two, 3 labs globally use this other than us, and this
Okay.
was completely built in house from scratch, 3D printed in our lab here, and possibly you will see one of the fingers moving. Yeah, any moment now. Yep. So as you can see,
Wow. काफी ज़्यादा cool है.
yeah, and the hand itself was also 3D printed and sourced completely from India, completely in Bangalore, honestly, completely in HSR Layout. Yeah. So yeah, this is something that we have been a lot focused on, and this is actually the biggest challenge right now in robotics globally.
Okay.
But yeah, we think we have a good starting edge that we can probably leverage as we progress.
Oh, it's so amazing, like the kind of things you've arranged in Bangalore here.
Yes. See, I
Very
told you, right?
incredible.
Deep tech में ना इंडिया में कोई कमी है, ना talent की कमी है,
I
ना
met lot
infrastructure
of
की कमी है.
people. I said कि I want to cover some tech founders. They said India में हो क्या रहा है? They were like कि US में होता cutting edge ये सब.
I think in this particular game, because it is a platform play, we are obviously competing with everyone who can compete.
Okay.
But in India, we would obviously want to be the local champion. At ShareChat, that was the case as well. Like we were the local champions, and we would like to stay the local champion. हमारी home turf है, हमारे लोग हैं, हमारा देश है.
Indians are famous for जुगाड़ ना कि जुगाड़ करे कुछ भी, like quality work in a very low resources, very less resources.
See, we call it jugaad. When Elon Musk does it, we call it Doge, right?
Okay.
That's not jugaad, right? That's just creative engineering.
We are not doing any jugaad in this.
Yeah, jugaad won't work. We try to accumulate great engineers, and when you do great engineering, the results show.
नहीं. Okay, that is very quality work. And like random thought I दिमाग में, like कि for humans, like it took billions of years of evolution, and
Yes.
this is a machine, like कि in I think few robotics पे कब से काम हो रहा है, I think 5-6 decades or a century maybe. But जिस level पे हम लोग हैं, I think after 5 years I can't even imagine कि हम किसी scale पे होंगे. So if you can tell us about the future of robotics.
So I think in 5 years you'll start seeing humanoids being used as sports assistants,
Okay.
as tour guides, as like आप ताजमहल घूमने जाओगे वहाँ पे ह्यूमनॉइड होगा जो
In
आपको
India.
घुमाएगा. Of course, 100%. हम ही लेके आएंगे.
We have a plan to deploy humanoid on Bangalore streets. You're
Okay.
going to see that soon.
Wow.
Yes. And yeah, or I think it might start happening कि certain industrial use cases में जैसे कि in hotels and all, you will start seeing some robots getting deployed for collecting laundry, for washing dishes, because you know while it is a task, while it is employment, it is a very bad working condition. Whatever you are doing, end of the day, you're still washing dishes, you're washing clothes. It's a hard task, right? That's why 100 years ago washing machines came into picture, because it's very hard to do manual labor every day, every time at bulk. So I think that's where you'll start seeing robotics very regularly in the next 5 years. And if you take a 10-year view, I think we are looking at a world where there'll be at least 500 million humanoids everywhere.
And Elon Musk also said that humanoids are going to outnumber humans, like probably 1:10 ratio. Because everyone needs one for the home, then for all the labor works and everything. So this is a huge market.
So I agree, it is a very huge market. I don't know about his claims. He's a very big person.
Yeah.
We can't comment on him, right? But we think it will be significant as a market.
So when you tell people about the market and everything, so how they react to you guys?
We just quote Elon Musk.
Wow.
So I think at the concept state, a lot of people doubted us. They were like, "Ki, probably you won't be able to do it."
The cycle is very long, na? Like as you mentioned कि अभी 1-1.5 साल हो गया and यहाँ पे भी हम लोग पहुँचे हैं. So this is very long cycle and you haven't generated I don't think so any revenue or anything. So
It's not that long. We built it in 4 months.
yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, like a lot of people have asked this question to me, since I'm more active on the business side, that how do you see it giving you $100 million in revenue annually? How do you see it giving you $1 billion in revenue annually? And when I say 8 years में होगा, then they say 8 years is a long time. But आप बता दो इंडिया में कितनी स्टार्टअप है 8 साल में जो 100 मिलियन क्रॉस कर रही है रेवेन्यू में. It's hard for everyone in India, and it's not a thing that hardware is specifically hard. It's hard in the sense that you have to do a lot of capex, you have to do a lot of investment upfront, which you may not have any visibility about how the revenue will happen. But when you are setting up an industry, when you're setting up a factory, it generally takes you 10 years, 8 to 10 years to build a useful factory. Right? You can get it up and running in maybe 1 year, 2 year, whatever. But to make something of real value, something of which can be called an industrial asset, something which can be called a national asset, it takes about 8 to 10 years. And post that factory gives you so much money. And that's why we have the term industrialists. Industrialists are people who own factories. Now, I can claim the same that, in ShareChat, unless until you would achieve a certain liquidity in terms of user base, तब तक कोई ad क्यों लगाएगा? And वो यूजर बेस पहुंचने में भी आपको 5-6 साल लगेंगे. तो 5-6 साल तक आप रेवेन्यू कर नहीं सकते, right? So and that was the scene with ShareChat as well. Like we started doing revenue I think somewhere around 2019, and that was like 5 years post our inception. Now but that didn't deter anybody from investing, right? So why should this? And our turnaround time or our iteration time is definitely faster than the previous hardware attempts, and a lot of it we owe to 3D printing becoming so good. A lot of it we owe to is
The machining industry taking off in India. That is a really important variable, and I think even for us and other robotics companies to go forward and grow big, the machining ecosystem in India needs to mature. It's pretty good, but 1 micron machining is not that good, and that is required for replacing the actuator supply line.
Yeah, right now one of the fastest growing sectors in India is sheet metal. The second fastest is CNC. The third fastest is EMS.
Okay.
And EMS, I mean electronics manufacturing. If you combine all three, you basically get the humanoid, right? And these are growing at like 200% year over year kind of a pace, right? So this is the right time when the world has released the basic AI models. The world has India has such great infrastructure coming up, and also the capital availability. Like we can say that we are going through a funding winter in India, but it's very different from 2014, 2015 when we first started. That time India had 8 to 10 VC funds. Right now we have maybe like 200 to 300 VC funds in India. So right now we have the capital, we have the talent, we have the infrastructure, we have the research done, we have the AI models. So this is the best time to start it. Yes, of course, we have not done revenue yet, but is revenue far? Probably not. Probably revenue is much easier now.
So other than this, what are the challenges in India, like how your peers are doing, and what are the challenges in robotics that you are facing?
I think the challenge is very similar to what the early smartphone industry or the early PC industry would have faced. That
Okay.
the market development hasn't happened. Like a lot of people have, rich people have come and threatened us. Look, get acquired by us, or else, we'll launch a competition.
You got acquisition offers.
अरे वो तो होता रहता है, right? But my response to them was, sir, please launch something. Please make a humanoid. The more number of people make humanoids, the more number of people make robots, the more number of people make AI models, the market will start maturing. And because the market is so huge, the opportunity is so huge, everyone will benefit from it. It's not about I started first or you started first or who won or who lost. Today, we just have to develop this market as an ecosystem. Like in China, if you look, there was recently this humanoid Olympics. There were 260 teams that participated across some 28 odd, humanoid games. And there were about, I think, 15 to 20 different platform companies who participated through these 260 teams. Now, would you say any one of them has won or any one of them has lost? No, everybody won. Everybody won because now suddenly the Chinese population is aware that look, humanoids can be used for sports, humanoids can be used for guarding, humanoids can be used for a lot many things. So building a market, building an ecosystem is like super duper important. And you know why we are not scared of it? Because when we started ShareChat, India where nobody had built social networks, content networks, or content apps. So we are used to this idea of building an ecosystem, building a market, being the first player for the first time. And you know, it's just comfortable for us. Yeah.
Yeah, since you guys are second time founders, so I think it's more of a passionate thing, and I think money doesn't matter that much. I think at this stage.
They see money never really mattered. Ever if money would have mattered, we would have taken up our jobs, right? Like we spent the first 6 months of our startup journey in poverty, right? So we obviously think that yes, money is important for raising and sustaining your family, but it's not what wakes me up every day to come and grind building robots here. It's the passion for building something valuable. It's the passion for becoming the nation's pride. It's the passion for just furthering the development of science and technology in India. So I don't know if IIT still do that, but by the time we were graduating, we were used to take a pledge. We will like at the time of convocation that we will further the development of technology and research in India, and we'll put in our best efforts to further engineering in India. Now I have taken that pledge. Bhanu has taken that pledge when we graduated. So we are bound by duty. We are bound by a duty to our nation to build companies like this, to build robots, and to build the ecosystem. And that's what drives us.
But in like after college, you didn't started anything in robotics. But in today's time, like how hard or easy it is for someone to right after college to start a company in a robotics or in a field.
I think it's much easier.
Okay.
One of the reasons is like if you want to just get a simple robotic arm.
Okay.
The cheapest variant you can get is in about 1.5 lakh rupees. And there is some amount of model work which is available in the open source world. There's some amount of data set available. So with like a 3-4 lakh rupee investment, you can actually start tinkering and do something. Now, to make it a business, you obviously will have to put in effort into finding a customer and solving problems for them. And we have a lot of examples right now where there are small solutions integrators who are finding CNC machine suppliers or CNC vendors and providing them this robotic arm to pick the payload and close the machine, open the machine, put a new block of metal. So these kind of solutions people are building in southern parts of India, like whether you take Coimbatore, whether you take various parts of Tamil Nadu, etc. So it's happening, and it's doable. A college student can get there, though. Just like any other startup, building a startup in itself is a hard game. You like right out of college, if you are trying to build a startup, continue to have a student-like approach. If you stay a student, like we believe we are students for life. If you have a student-like approach, you can learn anything and you can implement. Of course, you will also fail because your examination will happen every day, unlike in college where you have time to prepare. So that element of entrepreneurship will continue to remain hard. But other than that, I don't think it is impossible anymore to build a robotics startup.
In one of your posts in X, you mentioned that you don't hire your way to win in robotics. So if you can expand on that, particularly in robotics.
Yeah, so sometime around, like I mentioned, the folks who were trying to talk about acquisition and all.
Oh, okay.
Right. So we got to know that there are a bunch of teams who are rich people who made money in some startup IPOs are now saying that look, we will go and hire a lot of people and make humanoids and win the humanoid race. And that's what got me flustered at one day. यार कुछ भी बोलते हैं यार मतलब if unless you have really put in your heart and soul behind building humanoid, it's still a tough problem. It's still a tough science problem. Of course, there's a lot of things discovered, but it's not something that you can go and hire 10 SD2s and 5 product managers and a few designers and a sales team and just start rolling. Like that is the case with how you can build other startups today. You can actually hire engineers, hire product managers, hire data analysts, hire biz dev people, and maybe with a funding of 2 million or so, you can actually start generating revenue. But in robotics, that's not the case because it's still a nascent field when it comes to talent's exposure. A lot more people are exposed today to working with LLMs, working with web technologies, working with Web3 technologies, but and maybe even VLMs, etc. But still, embodied AI ke liye, there is still some time when you will have a plethora of talent available. And that's why, to my original point, we have to build an ecosystem. Once you have that ecosystem where there are like 10, 15 companies chasing the same problem statement, each of them having like 10, 20 engineers, and each of them having their hiring programs across IITs and ITs, BITS, and all premier institutions, you will end up building that talent pool where it will start becoming possible. Today, that is not the case. So if somebody is trying to go out and claim that, look, I'm going to raise $20 million and I'm going to hire so many people and I'm just going to, defeat Elon Musk. All the best, man. All the best. Won't happen.
Yeah, I think it's very important to find the right talent that is someone who is very
You
passionate.
have to be yourself talented. Let me put it like this.
Okay.
You have to be yourself talented in robotics to be able to even think of these problems.
So what drives you guys on day-to-day basis? Like what success looks like in the next 5-6 years that drives you?
In the next 5-6 years?
Yeah.
Everything that we talked about, जहाँ humanoid दिखेगा, वो जिएगा ही humanoid होगा.
Wow. So wow, like that's very incredible. On that ending note, let's make India great again.
Let's make India great again.
Thank you so much for giving us your time and showing us around your incredible office. And thank you so much.